Archangel Michael says, "This is extremely serious. The Lord Jesus is pleading for your attention, and it is for you, yes, only you. This is a crucial warning. Tonight, something very heavy has been written concerning your name. If you turn away now, there will be tears that no words can comfort. Please open your heart and soul quickly. This message carries more weight than you can ever imagine, and heaven is holding its breath, waiting for your response. Type 1111 if you agree. You are not forgotten. From the very first moment you were formed in the quiet mystery of your mother's womb, the light of God surrounded you. Every heartbeat since then has been a whisper from heaven, reminding you that you are deeply loved. But there is a storm rising tonight. There is an unseen hand trying to close the door that was meant to stay open for you. That is why Jesus is begging, not with anger, not with punishment, but with love so raw, so personal, it trembles with hope that you will hear it. Tonight was not supposed to be like this. It was meant to be a night of rest, a moment of peace after all you've endured. But something shifted. Something dark moved through the path meant for your blessing. A trap has been set. And while you carry your pain silently, thinking no one sees your trembling hands, Jesus has seen every single tear you refused to let fall. He saw the way you forced a smile when your soul was collapsing. And now, He cannot stay quiet. He cannot let you walk into what has been planned without screaming your name in desperation. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to grow closer to God. There is a spiritual warning being sounded in heaven. A trumpet is not blowing in celebration, but in deep sorrow. Because the enemy has laid out a path of destruction, and it's aimed directly at your heart. But here is the truth, that trap cannot hold you if you answer this divine message. The danger cannot take root if you open your spirit. The sorrow cannot become your destiny if you simply pause, breathe, and let God's voice reach your heart. Jesus is not standing in front of you with judgment. He is on his knees, scarred hands trembling, crying out not for himself, but for you. Because he knows that one wrong step now will cost you more than just pain. It will cost you your peace, your joy, your purpose. And he can't bear to see that happen. You are the reason he endured every thorn, every whip, every mocking voice. You are the reason he kept going, when everything in his broken body was begging him to stop. He has watched you cry alone. He has seen the weight you've carried, the weight no one else understands. And while you've thought he was silent, he was actually guarding you from what could have completely destroyed you. There were nights you could have lost your mind, but you didn't. There were days when depression wanted to suffocate you, but it couldn't. Not because you were strong, but because he was standing behind you, protecting you in ways you never saw. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. This is not a message of fear, it's a message of rescue. This is not an empty call, it is a final invitation. Heaven is still open, but the winds are shifting. There are spirits moving in the unseen, and not all of them are sent from God. Tonight, as you read this, there are forces trying to close in, whispering lies, stirring confusion, making you feel like giving up again. But Jesus is stepping between you and the lies. He is lifting up a shield of mercy, and he is calling out, "Not this one. Not my child." Type 2323 if you trust in God. But he needs you to respond. He needs you to stay still for a moment. To open your heart. Because if you walk away now, if you ignore this voice, the loss will not be something that can be undone with time. It is not your soul that will perish, but your spirit that will dim. You'll still breathe, but you won't feel alive. You'll still move, but the joy will feel miles away. And that is what breaks him the most. Jesus wants to restore you before the sorrow touches you. He wants to place healing in your hands before the hurt arrives. You were never meant to fight alone. You were never meant to carry this pain. But you've been shutting him out slowly, unintentionally. Life has made you numb, and your heart has grown tired. But even in that silence, he never left. Not once. Even in your anger, he didn't walk away. Even when you blamed him, he still protected you. And now, he is giving you one more chance to come back into the safety of his arms. Remain with me until the end, because what you will hear is a gift of hope from above. Let him cover you tonight. Let him cancel the trap. Let him erase the sorrow before it becomes your reality. Because no matter how far you feel from God, he is closer than your next breath. He has already seen tomorrow, and he knows what it will bring. That's why this message found you right now. That's why you feel what you're feeling deep inside your chest. This is not coincidence. It is mercy. You still have time. But not much. What's coming is close. And your name is involved. Let Jesus rescue you before it reaches you. His heart is breaking because he loves you that much. What he feels for you is not ordinary. His urgency is not exaggerated. This is the kind of love that doesn't give up, even when you do. There is something scheduled for tonight. A spiritual shift. A moment that can either become a breakthrough or a breakdown, and the outcome depends on how you respond right now. God never forces. He never pushes his way in. But he pleads. He knocks. And right now, heaven is watching your decision, because the moment you surrender this fear, this doubt, this tiredness, your life will not continue the same way. Jesus wants to interrupt what the enemy had planned with a miracle so deep, it will silence every attack trying to destroy you. You may not understand why you feel like something is pulling at your heart, but that's because your soul recognizes what your mind has forgotten. You were chosen. You carry a purpose so powerful that darkness has followed you, not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to evil. And the enemy's plan has always been to keep you tired, distracted, confused, emotionally worn, and spiritually quiet. But Jesus is rising in your defense. He is breaking the silence, even if you feel like you don't deserve his voice right now. Type 555 to receive miracles. Tonight, the sorrow that was meant to touch your door will have to turn away if you just say yes to His voice again. You don't have to know the next steps. You don't have to fix what's broken. You only need to pause and allow His presence to touch you. There is healing in the silence. There is light in the stillness. And there is safety in His arms. Let your heart soften. Let the walls come down. Because the tears you've cried in secret are already stored in His hands. There are people who have misjudged you, who have spoken harshly about you, who didn't understand the weight you've carried behind your quiet strength. But Jesus did. Every sleepless night. Every panic that you hid behind a smile. Every prayer that felt like it hit the ceiling. He caught it all. And He wrote your name in the palm of His hand because you mattered to Him before you even knew how to pray. This isn't just divine love. It's personal. It's deep. It's protective. You might not realize this, but the reason you've survived everything you've gone through is because the enemy has never been allowed full access to you. Even in the darkest seasons of your life, God placed a barrier around your soul. He allowed pain, yes, but not destruction. And now, this very moment, you are being given a sacred invitation. Not just to avoid what's coming tonight, but to step into the blessing that's been waiting to be released over your life. Jesus is not offering you empty words. He is offering protection, restoration, peace, and the kind of love that will hold you even when life feels too heavy to carry. You don't have to be perfect for Him to embrace you. You don't have to clean yourself up for Him to move in your life. All He asks is that you open your heart before midnight. Because tonight, heaven is marking names, and He wants yours to be sealed in mercy, not sorrow. This is not about religion. This is about rescue. This is not about rules. This is about relationship. A living, breathing, holy bond between your wounded heart and the one who was wounded first so you would never have to suffer alone. Jesus is still begging, not with guilt, but with grace. He knows your weakness. He knows your weariness. And yet, He wants you. He wants you, just as you are. Broken. Confused. Angry. Afraid. He wants all of it. Because He doesn't need perfection. He is perfection. And He wants to pour Himself into every crack, every scar, every shadow. What's coming for you is real. But so is the power of God. And this moment right here is your lifeline. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. On one side is the sorrow that was meant to weigh your spirit down, and on the other is the grace that God is trying to place over your life. The heavens are trembling with urgency, not out of fear, but because the timing of your breakthrough is so delicate, so precise, that even the slightest delay could shift your entire path. Jesus is not calling you casually. He is pleading because what's at stake is not just this moment, but everything your future is meant to hold. Right now, in the stillness around you, there are things moving in the unseen. Angels are guarding the doorway of your life. Demons are pacing with frustration, realizing that they are about to lose what they tried so hard to bind. And here you are, sitting at the center of it all, thinking it's just another ordinary night. It's not. This night is different. This message didn't come to you by accident. God placed it in front of your eyes because He knew the battle has grown too heavy for you to fight alone. Type yes to affirm. Heaven has watched you walk through fires that should have taken you out. You've smiled through pain that no one else could have carried with grace. But your heart is tired now. The strength you once held so tightly feels like it's slipping through your fingers. And yet, God still calls you chosen. Still calls you His own. Still believes in the beauty that's buried beneath your exhaustion. Jesus is standing at the edge of your soul, not asking for perfection, but for surrender. He doesn't want you to perform. He wants you to come undone in His arms. Let every mask fall. Let every hidden wound be exposed. Because this is not a moment for pride. This is not a moment for hesitation. This is a moment for healing. A moment for restoration. A moment to rewrite what tonight was meant to be. What was sent to destroy you can be cancelled in an instant. That nightmare waiting in the shadows of midnight can be swept away with one word from heaven. But your yes is the key. Your opening of this message is the turning point. Don't underestimate what this surrender could unlock. Jesus sees more than you see. He sees the person who smiled at you earlier but secretly wished for your downfall. He sees the message that's about to be sent to break your spirit. He sees the decision that could pull you back into a cycle He already freed you from. That's why He's begging. Not to guilt you. But because the darkness is real, and you've been marked as a threat to it. The enemy knows what you are capable of if you step fully into God's covering. That's why the attacks have gotten stronger. That's why the confusion has been louder. But tonight, everything can change. The pain doesn't get the last word. Your past doesn't write your destiny. God does. And His pen is dipped in mercy. He remembers the child inside you that used to laugh freely, that used to dream without fear, that used to believe the world was safe. He knows life has crushed that innocence. But He is here to restore it. Not just by making things easier, but by making you stronger. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are exactly where He needs you to be. Right here. Right now. Reading these words. Feeling this pull in your heart that you can't explain. This is your moment. It's not a coincidence. It's a rescue mission. Jesus is standing between you and what was about to crush you. His arms are wide, not to block you, but to shelter you. Let Him be your shield. Let Him silence the voice that's been telling you you're not enough. Let Him tear down every lie that has tried to convince you that you'll always be alone. Because you're not alone anymore. You never were. You may not hear it, but heaven is moving. You may not see it, but angels are already standing at your door. Not just to protect you, but to bring the healing that has been waiting for far too long. This is not just a moment of warning. It is a moment of divine recovery. God has seen the damage done to your heart, the pieces you've tried to hold together in silence, and He is no longer allowing you to suffer unnoticed. Type 777 if you walk by faith. There are some nights when heaven sends comfort. There are other nights when it sends correction. But tonight, God is sending both. Not because you have failed, but because you've been carrying things that were never meant for you to hold. The disappointment, the guilt, the fear of being too late, too broken, too unworthy, none of that came from God. That was planted by an enemy who is terrified of your awakening. Because when you fully realize who you are in the eyes of Jesus, nothing in hell can stop you. You've been quiet about your pain. You've learned to survive by pretending. But your spirit has been begging for rest. Begging for peace. Begging for something real. And Jesus is answering that cry with His presence. He doesn't want another promise from you. He wants your pain. He doesn't want a performance. He wants your truth. Because when you lay the truth at His feet, He lays His power over your life. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unworthy of what He has planned. There are blessings with your name on them that have been delayed, not because you were rejected, but because the timing was not yet right. But now the season is shifting. Now the heavens are unlocking things that were once held back. And tonight, if you say yes to Him, not just with your lips but with your heart, everything starts to align. The tears you've cried in secret have created a sound in the Spirit that heaven cannot ignore. Jesus has wept with you. And now, He rises for you. He rises with healing in His wings, with justice in His voice, with mercy that overflows. He is not a God who watches pain and stays silent. He is the God who steps into the storm. And He is stepping into yours right now. Whether you feel ready or not. This message was not sent to scare you. It was sent to catch you. To hold you before you fall any deeper into hopelessness. Because what's coming tomorrow is not the same as what has been. If you say yes. If you truly open your soul to Him again. The enemy planned sorrow for you tonight, but God has stepped in to replace it with a miracle that will leave even your enemies confused. He's about to restore your name in places where it was slandered. He's about to rebuild your peace in places where it was stolen. He's about to return the strength the enemy thought he buried for good. But you must remain open. You must stay soft. You must not allow the weight of fear or past trauma to close your heart again. Jesus isn't asking for a perfect heart. He's asking for an honest one. A willing one. A heart that is tired of running and ready to be still. This is not just another night. This is the night when something changes. This is the night when heaven writes a new chapter for you. One that the enemy cannot erase. One that sorrow cannot touch. One that darkness cannot claim. But it starts with your yes. A quiet, sincere, deep yes, that says, God, I need you more than I need control. More than I need to be right. More than I need to be strong. And that, yes, is powerful enough to break every chain. Type 333 to welcome blessings. Let Jesus be the one who writes your story tonight. He has already seen how it ends. And it ends in healing, it ends in peace, it ends in joy you thought you'd never feel again. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. This one holds something significant. The spiritual realm has been stirred. There are movements taking place, conversations in heaven, and your name has been spoken in both light and darkness. Jesus is pleading because the enemy is aiming specifically for you. This is why God is sending this word now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Because something that was meant to touch your life in a very damaging way is being intercepted by His love. But if you walk away from this moment, if you push down that stirring in your chest and silence the voice calling you back to His heart, then you are stepping out of the shelter He is offering you. And He knows you've already been hurt enough. He has seen how many times you've been left to pick up pieces that someone else shattered. He has watched you reach out with love only to be met with betrayal. And yet, through it all, you've kept going. Through heartbreak, through abandonment, through broken promises and disappointments, you've stayed standing. Maybe not always with strength, but with survival. And heaven has honored every trembling step you've taken through the storm. But tonight is not about surviving. It's about being restored. God doesn't want you to just breathe through the pain. He wants to remove the very root of it. He wants to take you deeper into healing than you've ever dared to go. Because He knows how long you've been pretending to be okay. He knows how many people believe you're strong just because you've learned how to smile through your suffering. But Jesus sees the tears that fall when the room is dark. And He is here to wipe them away with hands that are both gentle and mighty. There is a divine seriousness in His voice tonight because the plans of the enemy have grown louder. The devil knows that your time of rising is near, and he wants to delay it. But God will not allow it if you lean into Him now. The attacks you've been facing aren't proof that you've failed. They're proof that you carry something powerful inside of you. Something the darkness fears. Something God wants to release. But He needs your surrender. You cannot step into what's coming with the same wounds that were never meant to remain open. And so He is calling you into His arms, not to scold you, but to shield you. Not to burden you with rules, but to renew you with grace. His mercy is flowing, His angels are moving, and this very moment is saturated with holy intention. This is not just another emotional message. This is God reaching through the noise of your life to gently say, "Let me carry you before this wave crashes." And even now, as you read this, you can feel the war inside you. One voice is telling you to keep reading, to stay open, to believe this is real. Another voice is whispering that it's not for you, that you're too late, too lost, too broken. But that second voice is a liar. It has always been a liar. That's the same voice that told you no one would love you. The same one that made you question your worth. The same one that tried to talk you into quitting when you were right on the edge of breakthrough. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. Jesus is not speaking through fear. He is speaking through love that cannot be measured. A love that saw every mistake you'd make and still chose the cross. A love that stayed when everyone else left. A love that says, I know who you are beneath the pain, and I still want you. You don't have to earn this. You only have to receive it. And tonight, more than any other night, God is asking you not to walk away. He is reaching out not just to rescue your future, but to heal your present. To give you peace where there's been torment. To give you clarity where there's been confusion. To give you stillness where there's been endless racing thoughts. And most of all, to remind you that you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not just one name among many. You are deeply known. You are wildly loved. And you are being called right now because heaven knows what tonight holds, even if you don't. Type Amen if your heart belongs to God, and share this video with 3 faithful friends to receive His blessings and miracles. The hour that heaven has whispered about, the moment your name has been wrapped in prayer for, is almost here. And while the world moves unaware, something sacred is unfolding in the unseen. Jesus is still waiting, still watching your heart with the eyes of someone who would rather suffer again than let harm come near you. That's how deep His love runs. He's not giving up, even if you've been close to giving up on yourself. The sadness you feel sometimes without understanding, the tightness in your chest when everything seems fine on the outside, those are not coincidences. They're signals. Warnings from your spirit that something is shifting, and that you are needed back in God's presence before this spiritual wave crashes. Because it will crash. And if you're not in His arms when it does, the weight will feel too much to bear. But the truth is, you were never meant to carry any of it alone. Tonight was always going to be a turning point. God knew it long before you read these words. And while everything around you might feel ordinary, the spirit world is louder than ever. There are angels stationed near you now, yes, right now, holding back things that would have broken your mind, protecting you in ways you'll never fully understand. You didn't survive your past because you were lucky. You survived because heaven intervened. And now, once again, you are standing at a moment of intervention. Jesus is still calling. Not because He needs anything from you, but because He sees what you're walking into. He sees the message that will come to you tomorrow and pierce your peace. He sees the betrayal that's brewing behind someone's smile. He sees the financial tension that's trying to strangle your hope. And instead of letting those things hit you with full force, He's standing in front of you, whispering, "Let me hold you through this. Let me fight this battle for you. You've been strong for so long. You've held yourself together while everything around you crumbled. But God never asked you to be your own protector. He never told you to fight in silence. That was the world's lie. But heaven's truth is this: you are safest when you are surrendered. Not when you're pretending to be okay. Not when you're burying your fear. But when you fall into the arms of a Savior who already knows exactly what you're feeling, and chooses to love you still. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. He wants to protect your joy tonight. He wants to shield your mind from the chaos that's been brewing quietly beneath your thoughts. You've been sensing something was coming. You felt it in your sleep, in your emotions, in your sudden urge to disconnect from everything. That's because your spirit is picking up what your eyes can't see. And now, Jesus is confirming what your heart already knew. You are in the middle of a spiritual moment. A decision will be made in heaven tonight, about the protection over your name, the covering over your future, the reversal of what was meant to go wrong. And your choice to open your heart right now will determine how much mercy can be poured over what the enemy hoped to destroy. This isn't superstition. This is divine truth. There are times when God sends a final whisper before the storm. And this is one of those times. But here's the beauty: Jesus doesn't come to condemn you. He comes to shield you. He doesn't come to judge your hesitation. He comes to silence your fear. And even now, He is standing between you and the very thing that's been designed to shake your soul. He's already placed His hand over your name. He's already pushed back the darkness that was creeping toward your spirit. But He needs your heart open so He can finish what He started. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to explain why you drifted away. He already knows. And He's not mad. He's merciful. His love is not built on your consistency. It's built on His. And His love never fails. Never fades. Never gives up. Especially not on you. So take this moment. Breathe in His presence. Let His Spirit surround you like a warm blanket on a cold, empty night. Let every part of your weary soul rest in the truth that He's not walking away from you. In fact, He's walking toward you, faster than ever before. The name of Jesus is being spoken in the heavens tonight, not with ceremony, but with warfare. Because something meant to crush your future has been exposed, and God is responding faster than you realize. This is not a time to be distracted. This is not a moment to brush off. This is the turning point of a storm that was heading straight for your peace. You may feel like you've heard this kind of urgency before. Maybe you've seen messages or signs and thought, maybe it's for someone else. But not this time. This time, it's your name that's been pulled to the front of heaven's attention. This time, it's your heart that's in the center of what God is about to move. And it's not because you've prayed perfectly. It's not because you've been flawless. It's because you're chosen. And chosen ones are always targeted more by the darkness, but they are also more protected by the light. There's a silence coming to your storm. A peace that the enemy is terrified you'll discover. Because if you grab hold of it now, you'll no longer be easily shaken. You'll stop falling for the lies that say your past defines you, that your pain disqualifies you, that your silence means you're forgotten. Jesus is here to remind you that you are none of those things. You are held. You are watched. You are fought for in the highest places. Even now, the Spirit of God is hovering over your life like a blanket of warmth, guarding your name from forces you've never seen. You were supposed to fall apart. The enemy thought this week would crush you. But look at you, still standing. Still breathing. Still reading these words because your soul knows this is not just a message. It's a rescue. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. Jesus is fighting battles on your behalf that you never even knew existed. There were accidents that didn't happen, breakdowns that never reached you, betrayals that were stopped before they arrived. You've been protected not because you were alert, but because God never stopped watching. Never stopped placing angels around your bed at night. Never stopped sending unseen help when your tears fell silently into the pillow and you thought no one noticed. You don't have to carry this anymore. You don't have to figure out what's coming next. You just have to stay open. Stay willing. Stay present in this moment where heaven is offering you a fresh beginning. One that isn't tied to your pain. One that isn't built on what others did or didn't do. But one that is grounded in the love of Christ alone. That love is not weak. That love is not delayed. That love is standing over your name like a shield of fire. Tonight, Jesus isn't asking you to promise to be better. He's asking you to let Him in deeper. He wants your whole heart, not just the parts you've polished, not just the good intentions or the temporary prayers. He wants the mess. The pain. The regret. The loneliness. He wants to sit with you in your confusion and pour love over every shattered place. That's who He is. And this moment is not a coincidence. This is the final door of protection being offered before something spiritual tries to touch what's yours. But it will not succeed if you say yes to Him now. Not a half yes. Not a distracted yes. A real one. From your spirit. From the deepest part of your being where you've cried out for change you didn't know how to ask for in words. The very thing the enemy thought would destroy you is the very thing God is about to use to deliver you. The very place where you felt weakest is about to become the place where His power shines the brightest. But He is asking for your trust, not just in what you want, but in what He sees. Because God sees the full picture. And He is moving on your behalf before the next hour strikes. Archangel Michael says, "This hour is not like the others before it." Something in the Spirit has been unlocked, and the heavens are releasing what has been delayed over your life. Jesus is leaning closer now, not with pressure, but with longing. He is reaching for the parts of your heart that have been guarded for too long. He's not asking you to change overnight. He's not expecting you to have the answers. All He's asking is that you let Him in, fully, honestly, without pretending to be stronger than you really feel. There is a wind of mercy blowing tonight. It is soft, but it is mighty. And it is carrying away every trace of the destruction that was meant for you. What the enemy carefully crafted in silence is being scattered by the breath of God. Because you said yes. Because your soul responded. Even if your mind is still unsure. Even if your emotions are still shaking. Heaven heard your heart whisper, "God, I can't do this without you," and it was enough. That whisper was more powerful than any shout of fear. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Jesus never needed you to be loud to be heard. He only needed you to be real. And tonight, He is moving in ways you won't even see right away. But the shift is happening. The weight on your chest is beginning to lift. The confusion in your mind is slowly untangling. The spiritual chains that wrap themselves around your future are cracking under the force of God's presence. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are being set free. What's about to happen in your life is not just a recovery. It is a revival. The kind that makes people ask how you made it through. The kind that leaves no doubt that it was God who stepped in. He is rearranging things. Shaking foundations that weren't built in His truth. Closing doors that looked good from the outside but were poisoned on the inside. And most of all, He's opening something new. A doorway of restoration, one that has been sealed until now. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. But this door is only for you. Not for the version of you that tries to please everyone. Not for the version of you that hides pain behind laughter. For the real you. The tired, trembling, longing you. Jesus is inviting you into a season where you don't have to earn anything. You only have to receive. That's why this message is so heavy. Because it carries the weight of what God is about to release into your hands. There are blessings that were paused because your heart wasn't ready. Not because you were bad. But because God didn't want your gift to become a burden. But now, He sees your heart opening again. Slowly, cautiously, but honestly. And that is all He needed. The moment you opened your heart, the blessings began to move. You may not see them yet, but they're already in transit. The phone call that brings peace. The door that opens unexpectedly. The person who suddenly reaches out to help. That's not random. That's divine timing. And the fear that's been holding you back, it's losing its grip. You may feel it trying to rise again, trying to convince you this moment will pass and nothing will change. But that voice is fading. Because God's voice is louder now. His love is stronger. His timing is perfect. And this moment is proof. Don't go back to what hurt you. Don't return to the silence that nearly drowned you. You've come too far. Heaven has moved too much on your behalf. You've been through storms that should have left you numb. But look at you, still here, still feeling. Though the world may seem quiet around you, heaven is roaring with activity. The throne room is not still tonight. The Father is leaning forward. The angels are standing at attention. And Jesus, with a heart full of compassion and urgency, is still reaching out to you with every drop of love he has. You have no idea how deeply he has cried out your name. Your spirit may feel numb. The days may have drained you. But God is not moved by what you feel, he is moved by who you are. And who you are to him is irreplaceable. Precious. Worth rescuing again and again. He's not watching your every move to keep score. He's watching your heart, waiting for the slightest opening, the smallest surrender, so he can flood your life with what only he can give: peace, protection, and purpose. There's a lie that's tried to anchor itself deep inside your chest. A lie that says you're too late. That what's broken will never be whole again. That what's coming tonight will damage what little you've held on to. But that is not God's voice. That's fear. That's the enemy trying to plant hopelessness where God is preparing to plant healing. You were not meant to suffer through this moment alone. This message is God's hand breaking through the dark to remind you, you are not abandoned. You are not too far gone. And you are still his. Even as the night deepens, Jesus is standing at the door of your soul. He's not pounding. He's not forcing. He's gently knocking with a love that is impossible to ignore. Not because he wants something from you, but because he wants to give you something that no one else ever could: divine shelter in the midst of what's coming. He knows your heart has been fragile. He knows you've been running on empty. And he's not ashamed of that. He's simply asking you to let him refill what the world drained. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. Let tonight be the night you stop pretending. Let it be the night you fall into his arms without needing the answers. Let it be the night where your soul stops trying to fix everything and starts simply being held. There's nothing you need to perform. Nothing you need to prove. All you need to do is lean. Just a little. Just enough for him to catch you. And when you do, everything changes. The sadness that's been sitting heavy on your chest will begin to lift. The confusion that's blurred your decisions will begin to clear. And the fear that's been paralyzing your next step will begin to melt in the fire of his presence. You may not feel it all at once. But you'll begin to notice the difference. The way the atmosphere around you feels calmer. The way your spirit begins to hope again. The way your tears begin to feel like healing instead of heartbreak. This is the mercy of God. It doesn't shout. It doesn't shame. It just shows up when you least expect it and quietly waits for you to open the door. And right now, in this final stretch of the night, he is waiting still. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. Jesus wants you under his covering before the next wave hits. Not because he wants to punish you if you don't, but because he knows what's coming, and he can't stand the thought of you walking into it without his hand around yours. He has kept you this far for a reason. And that reason is bigger than pain, bigger than loss, bigger than everything you've survived. The silence surrounding you is not empty, it's sacred. It's filled with the presence of a God who has never once turned his face away from you. Every breath you take right now is covered by grace. You may not see it, you may not fully feel it, but heaven is surrounding you. There's something breaking in the spiritual realm, something heavy that has been following your name is being lifted as you continue to open your heart. Jesus is still calling softly. His voice is not thunder, it's a whisper that cuts through noise, fear, and confusion. He's not rushing you. He's waiting, with hands still scarred and eyes still full of mercy, for you to give him access. Not just to the hopeful parts of you, but to the wounded places, the places you've hidden, even from yourself. He's not afraid of your scars. He's not shocked by your past. He's not overwhelmed by your silence. He's drawn to your honesty. And even now, as the hour grows later, he is standing right there beside you, longing to cover you before the next shadow tries to settle in. The danger that was meant for you tonight, it was real. But it's already being pushed back. Because your spirit has responded, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. The mere fact that you are still reading these words is proof that your heart hasn't fully closed. And that tiny opening is all God needs. You've held so much pain, so much fear, so many questions that were never answered. But Jesus is not here to answer all the questions. He's here to become your peace in the middle of them. You don't have to understand how all of this will unfold. You only need to know that God is not leaving you vulnerable. Not now. Not ever. The same voice that created the stars is the same voice whispering over your soul right now. Telling you that you are worth fighting for. That you are worth saving again. That what the enemy meant for evil will be reversed, and turned into something redemptive and holy. Type 1919 to embrace healing. God is not looking at your situation in frustration. He is looking at you in love. His arms have never stopped being open. And this moment, right here, is proof that grace still covers your life. There are things he's doing right now that your eyes cannot see. People being removed quietly from your life who were never meant to stay. Delays being allowed so your path can be corrected. Losses being permitted not to punish you, but to protect you. All of it part of a divine shield that's been placed around your name. This is what you don't see. Every time you almost gave up, every time you almost slipped into despair, every time you whispered, "God, are you still there?" He was closer than your breath. He heard it all. And not once did he flinch. Not once did he think less of you. Because his love is not fragile. It's not emotional. It's eternal. It's anchored in his character, not your circumstances. Amen.